I'm Jeff Matlow. Welcome to the best leadership podcast ever. Welcome back to the best leadership podcast ever, where every week we take a different look at your daily behaviors to help catapult your career. My name is Jeff Matlow. I'm an executive coach to female leaders and entrepreneurs. And in fact, today, I want to talk about the state of women leaders. Get ready. Indian women make it easy to rape them. General George Custer. Women are nothing but machines for producing children. Napoleon Bonaparte. Women are, by nature, meant to obey. Arthur Schopenhauer. I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with hitting a woman. Sean Connery. It really doesn't matter what the media writes as long as you have a young and beautiful piece of ass. Donald Trump. Until 1900, women, like cattle, were legally considered the husband's property. All women's earnings had to be turned over to the man. Until 1920, women had no right to vote because they were considered intellectually inferior to men. Besides, voting would distract them from caring for the home and kids. Of course. Until 1964, it was completely within your right to discriminate against women when it came to hiring, firing, and promotions at work. Until 1972, women were not allowed to purchase contraceptives. Until 1974, women couldn't get credit cards or bank loans without a male cosigner. Until 1978, women could legally be fired or denied employment for being pregnant or wanting to be pregnant. Until 1988, women weren't allowed to raise money for their own businesses without a man to cosign. Until 1993, it was legal for a man to rape his wife. After all, her body was the property of the husband. Refer to the loophole in the first law from 1900 that I mentioned. The moment a man and woman got married is the moment she gave up her right to sexual consent. Until 2020, insurers can charge women more for healthcare costs. Until 2013, women were banned from serving in military combat roles. And the Paycheck Fairness Act has been reintroduced to Congress every session since 1997. It has failed to pass every single time, most recently in 2021. This law, the Paycheck Fairness Act, is meant to fix the loopholes that currently allow companies to discriminate against women when it comes to equal pay. The odds of it being passed anytime soon are actually somewhere between slim and none, and Slim just left town. Here are some interesting statistics for you. White women earn 82 cents for every dollar earned by men for the same or similar work. Black women earn only 63 cents, and Hispanic women earn a measly 57 cents for every dollar earned by white men on a similar job. Women make up 47% of the workforce, but they hold only 38% of manager-level positions and only 25% of executive leadership roles. 81% of women have admitted to experiencing some form of sexual harassment in their lifetime. A significant portion of that occurred at work. In fact, 64% of women in corporate America say they've experienced microaggressions at work, like being interrupted, having their judgment questioned, or having their ideas stolen by male colleagues. On average, women's salaries decrease 4% for every child they have, while men's salaries increase after having children. You'd be shocked by how many people tell me they don't think misogyny exists in the workplace. And it's not just men who say this. I hear it from some women too. And these are often the same people who say racism and homophobia don't exist. But listen, I'm not here to go all super woke on your butt. I'm here to just talk about the facts as I understand them. And I see a lot in my executive coaching business. About 70% of the people I coach are female leaders. The others are primarily male executives and entrepreneurs. So I see both sides of the gender coin. I suppose it's one of the benefits I bring to the table for my female clients. I know how their male bosses and colleagues think. I know what behavior is right, and I know when it's wrong, and I help them navigate their growth trajectory. The fact is that sexism exists. It's not always overt, and it's not always conscious. Men don't always recognize when they're discriminating against women, and women don't always recognize when they're being discriminated against. But it's there. I'm not saying sexism occurs in every interaction or at every company. It doesn't. And I'm definitely not saying that sexism is inherent in every man. It absolutely isn't. But whether you choose to see it or not, it's still out there. And the fact remains that if we learn nothing from history, then we learn nothing at all. And that's why I started this little ditty with those quotes and statistics I mentioned before. Because that's our history. Whether you like it or not, whether you want to agree with it or not, our country's history has put men on a pedestal and relegated women to cleaning it. So where does this leave us? Good question. For all the progress we've made, we're still operating in a system that was designed by men for men. There's an inherent problem with that, but here we are. We can't change what's been done. In order to build a better version of the future, it's important to understand those stories of our past. It's important to understand that women have only recently been allowed to step into the room. Change rarely happens in big strokes. True change happens in the daily moments of altering our daily habits. Change happens when we stop ignoring people's ideas because of who they are. Change happens when we stop berating others because of how they look. Change happens when we stop repeating history. And here's the uncomfortable part of this. It's up to all of us to make it happen. Whether you are a man or a woman or identify as anything else, whether you believe misogyny exists or not, whether you agree with everything I've said here or nothing at all, you still play a part. It's not just the guys behind closed doors making rude remarks that matter. It's also the silence that follows. It's the colleague who assumes the woman on the team will take notes or make the coffee or plan the birthday party. It's the boss that refers to his male employees as leaders and the female as his work wife. This isn't about a massive revolution. It's about caring enough to notice those small subconscious behaviors that poke pins in the pride of others, and recognizing the power you have to change them. Listen, I'm not asking you to do anything big. I'm just asking you to pay attention. Next time you're in a meeting, pay attention to the dynamics. Who speaks and who gets spoken to? Who interrupts and who is the interrupted? Who's assigned to lead and who's expected to follow? Ultimately, the future of female leadership depends on each of us building a pyramid to support each other. No single group can fight for equality alone, nor should they have to. We all need to join the effort, not even because it's about building the right future, but because it's about escaping the wrong past. Let's not end up on the wrong side of history with this one. If any of this resonates with you and you want to talk more about your company, your culture, or your journey through it, reach out to me, leadership@bytitleonly.com. And if you like this, I'd truly appreciate you review it and rate it. It would mean a lot. I appreciate you listening. You're the best. Thank you. And I'll talk to you next week.